Hello and welcome to CoreTV News at 7. I am Olajumoke Latuji. Two mobile courts sitting in Benin have convicted 95 people for various sanitation offences in the state's monthly environmental sanitation exercise. Chief Magistrate Ihanye Agbedio for convicted 60 people at Kilometer 6, while Magistrate Osamu Deme Afe convicted 35 people at Oredo. While some were convicted for not participating in the exercise, the others were convicted for wandering and obstructing sanitation officials from discharging their duties. The presiding magistrate sentenced the accused persons to various terms of imprisonment or an option of fines of between 5,000 and 7,000 respectively. The chief prosecution powers over advised the people to always obey sanitation laws to avoid conviction. The President Muhammadu Buhari on Saturday says it is with sadness and a deep feeling of personal and national loss that he received the news of the death of the Emir of Borgo, Aliru Dantoro, Kitoro III. In a statement by his special advisor on media and publicity, Femi Adesina, the President extended condolences to the bereaved on behalf of himself, the federal government, and all Nigerians. Buhari says he particularly commiserated with late Emir's family and the people of Borgo Emirates, over whom he said the deceased ruled for many years with commendable wisdom, benevolence, and an uncommon dedication to duty. The President also commiserated with the government and people of Niger State on the death of the traditional ruler, who he said to be long remembered and honored for his notable contributions to the development of his city, state, and country. A civil society group, Coalition Against Corrupt Leaders, has called on President Muhammadu Buhari to prevail on anti-graft agencies to investigate the failed 76 billion naira closed-circuit television project in the Federal Capital Territory. The group, in a statement made available by its executive chairman, Debo Adeniran, called for a thorough investigation of the project, which was initiated in 2010 by late President Umaru Yar'Adua. Adeniran says Abuja has recently come under a series of deadly attacks, and the CCTV cameras installed across the city have failed to pick up images of the perpetrators of such attacks. The statements described the project as a colossal wastage of the nation's resources and called for the prosecution of people who have illegally benefited from it. Now, reactions have continued to trail the outcome of the governorship election petition tribunal in Rivers State. Another state, Governor Nyesom Wike, is election annulled by the tribunal, while the Delta State Governor Ifeanyi Okowa had his upheld. And this reports National Assembly correspondent Jamil Felwa sought views of some politicians on the matter.
Justice Adumin on Friday explained why Saraki's appeal slated for judgment on October 19 was postponed. He said the postponement was to enable all the justices in the suit arrive at a consensus on the matter. Given his verdict, Justice Adumin dismissed 5 grounds of appeals filed by the Senate President against his arraignment at the Court of Conduct Tribunal. The court upheld the argument of the federal government.
We do apologize for the mix-up of those visuals. Now, away from that, Florence Itagiwa, former wife of the late editor-in-chief of Newswatch magazine, Dedegiwa, has reacted to the recent remarks made by the former Deputy Inspector General of Police, Chris Omebe, that the late Giwa was careless in maintaining a relationship with his former wife, insisting that she has no apologies for having a good relationship with the late journalist despite their separation, which was amicable. Omebe, who clocked 80, was in charge of investigating the murder of the late journalist in 1986. Reacting to Omebe's remark through her media assistant, Jonathan Eze, Itagiwa described comments credited to Omebe as indicative of a mind rapidly progressing into dementia and of somebody who is desperately trying to cover up his incompetence with regards to the case. Itagiwa denied the allegation that her houseboy was the one who delivered the letter bomb to the late Giwa. Abuja residents came out in droves to participate in the Walkaway Cancer Trek in commemoration of the World Cancer Week. The more than 50-kilometer walk is meant to raise awareness on the ravaging reality of the scourge and appointed to exercise as one way of maintaining a healthy body. Organizers of the walk and wife of the Kebbi State Governor Aisha Bagudu says regular and early detection is a big plus for treatment and management of the disease.
If everybody takes up this mantra and tries to do something similar, and they see that people in leadership and political figures are also supporting this awareness program and know that yes, this is a disease, it's not something that we should hide. We had the wife of the vice president here earlier who was ably representing Her Excellency, the wife of the president. And so, you know, we have our leaders, the people that matter and are close to the decision makers, are here to make the message go across to everybody.
Oh, Kebbi State is delighted to be associated with this committed and energetic, noble undertaking by Medicaid Foundation. So we thank all the people who are here, and we believe with this kind of commitment, cancer will be eliminated.
Hello, Nigerians! We are all gathered here from all over the country. I came from Enugu. We are here because of cancer. Let me tell you something. When you have a plane load crash, everybody remains frozen for many months and months and months. But cancer is killing more than 20 plane loads of people in Nigeria, because 10 people die per hour from cancer in Nigeria. This is a disease that we must fight.
I believe and I'm very positive that we'll win this war against cancer. And I also encourage everybody here to be an advocate for this fight. And I believe God will always win. Anything we do, na God we know, na God we know, na God we know.
Well, this is a good development. It's something that everybody should encourage, but it's also a signal to the present government to devote more time to cancer issues.
The medical team adopted on Friday, October 16, 2015, by yet to be identified kidnappers at Uburu Ekwe in its local government area of Imo State has been rescued by the police 8 days after the abduction. Narrating their ordeal to journalists, one of the victims, Ann Usman, says their freedom was made possible following the incessant police patrol in the area where they were kept. Usman, who's a nurse and works with the University of Benin Teaching Hospital, added that the medical team were abducted on their way to Buruekwe while on a medical mission to the community. She says the free medical exercise was organized by the General Secretary of Nigerian and Diaspora Organization in the Americas, USA, Apollos Okuchu Nwa. She said a young man clad in civil defense regiment with an AK-47 rifle jumped down from the SUV and ordered them to come down. Now, youths have taken to the streets of the Imo State capital where to celebrate the victory of the state governor, Rochas Okorocha, the Supreme Court in the case brought by Emeka Ihedioha of the People's Democratic Party, challenging his election as the governor. The youth also say they're not only celebrating his victory, but his many accomplishments in office as governor. Correspondent Ejibadia Wolfeso has made this report.
Youths in their hundreds took to the streets in solidarity march, chanting pro-Rocha songs. The popular Owerri city was taken over by celebration at every corner, even in the governor's absence. The Deputy Chief of Staff who addressed the youths at the government house premises reiterates the governor's support for the Imolites youth.
The fundamental achievement of His Excellency. You can see people celebrating the infrastructural input of the government to the people of the state. You can see people celebrating the victory of a governor who has done so well for the people of Imo State.
Some of the youth who came around wore PDP regalia, demonstrating high level of oneness. Honorable Kingsley Uju also took time to call on all Imolites to shun politics of bitterness and embrace unity for the ultimate growth of the state.
Well, we advise our brothers and sisters in the other side of the politics, the opposition party. I will advise them to join hands and close rank with the government of the day, because this is the only means through which development and achievements of and policies of the government will be adequately guaranteed.
However, on the part of the youth, the celebration still continues, not just for victory alone, but also in appreciation to Governor Rocha's good works. Ajibade Awofeso, CoreTV News, Owerri.
We'll go for a short break. Have a back on Doris. Please join us again.
She wish your mommy was sweet like mine, yeah, don't she?
That's why every mom should take 3 Crowns milk with low cholesterol to stay fit and healthy so she can take extra care of her family. 3 Crowns now comes in powder. 3 Crowns milk. Healthy moms, happy families.
Is it what crazy or autocracy? Or what type of crazy is that? Except crazy.
News making the headlines.
Black Maria is to carry criminals, treasure looters that are in government today.
Sometimes it gets confrontational.
Slap you in the face. Excuse me, don't put words into my mouth. Whatever it is that will bring our military to the support. I said to hell.
On Core Digest,
I want to know why I should be believing them.
Every weekday, we bring all of these together and take them to the court of public opinion.
Everybody have the right in Nigeria.
Where you are the judge.
Thank you for joining us again. Now, for more on the news and other programs, please visit our Facebook page at www.facebook.com/CoreTV News. You can follow us on Twitter, CoreTV News NG, and Bruce for back. Also visit our YouTube channel at youtube.com/CoreTV then news. It is not yet Uhuru for the embattled president of the Nigerian Senate, as the Court of Appeal sitting in Abuja dismissed all the relief sought by Senate President Bukola Saraki, challenging the legality of his arraignment at the Code of Conduct Tribunal. But in a 2-to-1 judgment delivered by Justice Mo Adume, the court held that the CCT was properly constituted and has jurisdiction over the case filed by the Code of Conduct Bureau. In his appeal, Bukola Saraki had challenged the powers of the tribunal to prosecute him on behalf of the federal government on an alleged false declaration of assets. Now, recently, the President of the Senate, Bukola Saraki, has been embroiled with the allegation of false declaration of his assets and operating a foreign bank account while serving as Executive Governor of Kwara State by the Code of Conduct Bureau and Tribunal. With a 13-count corruption charge hanging on his neck, his woes were further compounded when the Court of Appeal, sitting in Abuja, ruled that he has a case to answer on the allegations profiled against him by the CCB. Our correspondent, Eti Labra, went to town to get the views of Nigerians on the looming legal crisis being faced by President of the Senate, Bukola Saraki.
Dogged by the Code of Conduct Bureau and Tribunal, Bukola Saraki had described his arraignment as politically motivated witch hunt and proceeded to the appellate court to challenge the jurisdiction of the CCB. But his spirit's fight to stop the wheel of justice has been denied by a 2-to-1 verdict of the panel justice. For some people, there should be transparency and due process followed in adjudicating the trial of the President of the Senate, while enjoining him to vacate his position to create an ambience of fairness.
Let the court do their work. Let them fear God in what they do. Ordinarily, in other climes, people occupying such seats as Saraki is occupying would probably step down. In elsewhere.
About Saraki's trial, what I just feel is that for the sake of efficiency, he has to resign from that position. The reason is that the Senate is in charge of an appropriation and budgeting process. If he gives too much money to Code of Conduct Tribunal, people might think that maybe he's trying to bribe them.
To some Nigerians, justice must be seen to be done no matter whose horse is God.
Nigerians would rather want to see a unity against corruption. A unity, that will not necessarily discriminate. All people who offend the law should go through the appropriate prosecution and be brought, before the law.
Saraki has been indicted. It has been an accused person. So far, he has entered dock. I think it's only the accused person that normally enter dock. And what we are looking at in Nigeria today is that somebody of his caliber giving a false information about his asset. That is exactly the way the Code of Conduct Bureau report it. And they have been setting a panel for him, which Code of Conduct Tribunal. So let's wait for the judgment.
But expected from the Saraki camp, the judgment is going to be appealed against at the Supreme Court. Nigerians await the outcome of the verdict of the highest court in the land when it does happen with great expectation.
The People's Democratic Party commended its senators. Now, away from their reactions have continued to trail the confirmation of ministerial list sent by President Muhammadu Buhari. However, the ratio of women to men on the ministerial list under this administration was brought to the front line. Our correspondent Emmanuel Jacob took to the streets sampling women's opinion, brought this report. I'll bring you details of that report subsequently. President Muhammadu Buhari has expressed sadness over the death of the immediate past senator representing Plateau North Senatorial District and the People's Democratic Party governorship candidate in the April 11, 2015 election, Senator Yang Kwajak. The president, while speaking in India, said Kwajak's demise is a great loss to Plateau State and Nigeria as a country, as he has contributed immensely to the enthronement of peace and development in the country. President Buhari prayed that God Almighty will comfort his family and all who mourn the deceased senator and grant his soul eternal rest. The newly appointed Operations Controller, Ilorin Field Officer of the Department of Petroleum Resources, Salvation Ngazado, has read right out to petroleum marketers in Kwara State to desist from various legal activities that could lead to economic loss in the country. While addressing the stakeholders at an interactive forum, the new DPR boss warned against illegal construction of filling stations, diversion of fuel, hoarding and overpricing of fuel, among other illegal practices. Rashid has more.
The Operations Controller, Ilorin Field Office of the Department of Petroleum Resources, Salvation Ngazado, has advocated the need for strategic reasoning and cooperation for the survival of the oil industry in these hard times. While reading Riot Act to marketers, he frowned against indiscriminate construction of filling stations, diversion of fuel, hoarding and overpricing and buying of stolen products. The DPR boss also condemned product adulteration and discharging of products without proper documentation, warning that full wrath of the law would be visited on offenders.
What are they? Indiscriminate illegal construction, siting location of petrol outlets without appropriate approvals. We will stand shoulder to shoulder. We will make federal fights with state authority to ensure compliance. Government has the responsibility to create the enabling environment for enterprise to grow and flourish. That the era of products meant for Kwara State ending up in other states of the Federation, that era has ended.
Addressing journalists, the state chairman of the Independent Petroleum Marketers Association, Okonlawon Olanrewaju, also decried the construction of illegal filling stations and called for joint sanctions to correct the situation.
It was true there are some filling stations that were built without approval. And we don't know, it does not mean I don't know what is happening to those people, you know. Before you become a member of IPMA, you have to complete your station and apply to be a member. Most of them are not our members. They are not our members. But it's strange that most of them supposed to apply, supposed to go through normal process. Because most of the stations are standard. They are qualified to be a member, they are qualified to obtain license. But I can't just say the reason why they were doing it illegally.
As the DPR gets set to correct the anomaly in the oil industry, it is expected that both the DPR and marketers will join hands together for the benefit of the people. Rashid, CoreTV News, Ilorin.
We'll take another quick break. I'll be back with more stories. Please join us again.
You wish your mommy was sweet like mine, yeah, don't you?
That's why every mom should take 3 Crowns milk with low cholesterol to stay fit and healthy so she can take extra care of her family. 3 Crowns now comes in powder. 3 Crowns milk. Healthy moms, happy families.
You can now watch CoreTV News live from anywhere in the world on our website www.coretvnews.com. Click on Live TV on our website and watch us live.
And welcome to CoreTV Primetime Days.
To follow us on Twitter, click on Twitter icon on our website. And Facebook, click on the Facebook and YouTube to see all our previous news production. You can also watch us live on YouTube. Click CoreTV, leave a space, then News. CoreTV News, a 24-hour news station.
Now, outside Nigeria, Egyptian officials say a Russian airliner which crashed in central Sinai early on Saturday killed all the 224 people on board. The Airbus 321, which was traveling from the Red Sea resort of Sharm el-Sheikh, bound for the Russian city of St. Petersburg, crashed a few minutes after takeoff. Its wreckage has been found in the Hassana area and bodies removed, along with the plane's black box, with an official describing the scene as a tragic scene, with bodies of victims still strapped to seats. Russian President Vladimir Putin has described Sunday as a day of mourning. He has ordered an official investigation into the crash and for rescue teams to be sent to the crash site. Egyptian officials said 214 of the passengers were Russian and 3 Ukraine. A commission headed by Russian Transport Minister Maxim Sokolov is to leave for Egypt on Saturday afternoon, and a criminal case has also been opened against the airline Kovolmevia for violation of rules of flight and preparation for them. Russia's RIA news agency reported that a raid has also been reported on the offices of the airline in Moscow as part of the investigation into the crash. And finally, before we go, at least 61 people have been killed and over 100 others wounded after Syrian government air strikes targeted a marketplace in the Damascus suburb. And officers of the Syrian Civil Defense in the Damascus branch said the air raid struck a busy market in Douma early Friday. Witnesses said missiles were fired into the marketplace in the rebel-held part of Douma, disclosing that the toll is expected to rise as people have been pulled out of damaged buildings. Douma is in the east of Damascus, which has been under intense government attack for weeks. But that's a wrap on CoreTV News at 7 minutes. Thanks for watching. I'm Olajuwon Latije.